as one of the partners involved in the Our Generation project. Yeah, the recording started there by Hayley. Thanks, Hayley. So really today's about, I'm going to give you an overview of the Our Generation project in itself, and then with 3 partner organisations on this morning to tell you about our programme. So ourselves as Playboard NI, we've got Action Mental Health and Cooperation Ireland. So we're going to tell you this morning briefly what our programmes are looking like under the Our Generation, and then really let you know how you can take part in that if you wish. So I'm going to share the screen. It's just taking a wee bit of time to do what it's told here. Here it is. So can everyone see my screen okay? Yeah, all good? Okay. So yeah, as I've said, and as you know from our information that we've sent out, yes, we're part of the Our Generation project, and as you can see there, it's a Peace Plus funded project. You might have been familiar or been involved in Peace 4. So this Our Generation has been a continuation of Peace 4 with 2 new projects or 2 new partner organisations involved this time round for the Our Generation. If you were involved before, you can get involved again this time. You can see just from the slide there, you don't need me to read it out to you. Yes, we are a programme managed by SEUPB, but also represents a funding partnership there, as you can see, between European Union, United Kingdom, etc. You can see from the screen. So that's a bit of a mouthful that you don't need me to read that out to you. So the project overall will deliver and develop programmes to increase mental health literacy, enhance emotional resilience, build leadership skills, and it's all for children and young people from 9 to 25-year-olds. Also, you'll see the phrase later on being used as key youth workers. So it is staff who are working with those children can also avail of the programmes, and so it's really staff working in schools, community groups. You'll see with the kind of settings that we're in later on in the presentation. Also, as part of Our Generation, you can see there we will lead research in mental health around the impact of trauma on our communities. You've maybe seen the research that was published yesterday with Queen's University around the prevalence of the impact of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. So it's great to have a study specifically for Northern Ireland. So we are a partnership project. As you can see, all our partners on the screen here. Action Mental Health is our lead. They're also a delivery partner. Nikki will tell you about that later in the presentation. And as I say, we've Cooperation Ireland with us this morning. And the reason why the 3 of us has got together today to tell you about our programmes is because we're working with the 9 to 11-year-olds. So within that age group of 9 to 25, all of the organisations, most of them are working from the 11 plus up, but ourselves are within the 9 to 11. Cooperation Ireland and Action Mental Health also work with the over 11s as well, which they'll tell you about. You can see Ulster University there. So when I mentioned the research, it's with our partners, Ulster University, that we'll be working with, and the team of researchers that are involved are headed up by Siobhan O'Neill, who is the mental health champion for Northern Ireland. And they also, as well as the research, they validate and scrutinise all our materials to make sure they're fit for purpose for what we're intending to do. So as I said, yes, we're from Playboard. I am going to pass you over to my colleague, and she's going to tell you about our programme. Jess and Susan this morning is going to tell you about our programme. But if you're not familiar with Playboard, we are a free membership organisation, and you can see there it is all the work we do is around advocating for the child's right to play and the many benefits that play comes with. So yes, and delivering programmes to a range of settings. And Our Generation is a perfect example of that. So I'm going to hand you over to Jess. Yeah.
Thank you, Roberta. Yeah, so my name's Jess, and I am one of the play participation officers. And our programme under Our Generation is called Spaces to Be. So we adopt a playwork approach, which is unique to the projects that are under OG. And we try to look at mental health, building resilience, and positively addressing difference through the medium of play. So we've developed an innovative and interactive program. And what that looks like is staff training. So there'll be staff training before the children's sessions and then evaluation with yourselves after the children's sessions. We would love that to be a whole school or a whole setting approach when it comes to the staff training, so that we can get as many key staff involved in that. There aims to be a cross-community partnership. So if your school or setting already has a shared learning partner, we can work with this to build upon that. Or if not, Playboard can help match you up with a setting so that in our final children's session, we come together and play together. The children's sessions then look like 4 children's play sessions in your own setting, with the 5th one being the joint play session with your joint setting. So we operate for children aged 9 to 11, and that can be in primary schools, school-age childcare settings, so maybe particularly around holiday times, your holiday clubs and things like that, or community groups that work with children aged 9 to 11. But really the main focus is around play and children's right to play and addressing some of those topics through that medium. So the aims of our project then is really focusing on mental health and well-being. So as Roberta had said, we hope to help children increase their mental health literacy, developing kind of vocabulary and stuff around mental health and what emotions really mean for them. We want to enhance emotional resilience, helping children understand that resilience can be built, and giving them sort of resilience opportunities through play so they can start to learn how they cope with that, developing self-help and coping skills. And in one of the sessions, we do make like a wee Tame It toolkit with the children and encourage them to think of ways through the medium of play that they can start to help cope with some of life's big emotions. We want to be as inclusive as we can and encourage children to be inclusive in their play and more accepting of difference and looking at the perspectives of other people, seeing where they fit into their community, what other communities are like and what influence they can have on their community. And again, all of this is done using a play methodology because we really believe that play can give children aged 9 to 11 all of the tools to all of this in a way that's really age appropriate. So one of the great things to come out of doing this project before in Piece 4, and one of the really successful parts, was the development of Archie. So Archie is our Spaces to Be mascot, and Archie comes along with a book, Archie's Adventures in Emotions, and the book really is the basis for a lot of our activities. And he goes through a jungle story and looks at different emotions along the way. Every child at the end of their children's sessions will become a play champion, and we discuss with children what qualities a play champion might have. And when they become a play champion, they get a certificate and their very own Archie bear to take away and take home with them to kind of continue that on and remember it. Every setting will also receive the storybook and alongside it the activity pack, which has kind of mental health focused activities that you can carry out maybe with other groups in the future or whatever. So that's a real positive of our programme, that there is continued resources that you can use, not just with this cohort, but other ones too. And it's all done again in a really fun and playful way for children. I think Susan's going to just chat now about how this might help fit in with curriculum and stuff like that.
Thank you, Jess. I thought I was getting the fun job of introducing Archie to you, but you've already met Archie. I don't have an Archie to show you this morning, unfortunately, because he's away off being rejudged. He's getting a new t-shirt, a new look, and all his new logos and things put on him, so we don't have him to show you, but I did bring a copy of the book along. I don't know if you can see it in the camera there. And that's a little book that every setting that takes part will get a copy of that book. And then your little activity pack, which will look like this. And there's lots of different activities inside there that you can use in your classroom or use in different classrooms or whatever setting that you're in. And they range from things like making rhino poo dough to hyena snot and lots of other fun activities and tips and things. And most of them will be very easy to manage. You don't need a lot of resources and things for them, and they can be shared around the school just as you see fit as well. So these are the 5 topics that we have. Obviously, when we put the plans together, we're thinking about what it is that the children need. So obviously their needs are at the forefront. So we start off talking about who I am, and that'll be getting them to talk about themselves and exploring their own identity, their self-image. Then we start to look a wee bit deeper at what their emotions are, what those feel like, what they look like, and starting to name some of those emotions and building some of that language. Then we start to talk about how they can manage their emotions. And that will be where the little toolkit that Jess was just talking about, the Name It to Tame It toolkit, will come in, and some of the mindful activities like the breathing and games. And we have a whole big range of activities. Those will be some of the adult-led activities, the playful activities that we do, as well as the free play aspect. Our 4th session then will be Where Do I Belong? And this is one of our new ones this year. And I was looking at the shared education and learning outcomes as well. And without even trying, we've managed to match a lot of those as well. So that a lot of the terminology and the wording will be the same. And that's about children building a connection with the community that they live in, and the communities around them, and finding their little place within that community before they then meet their setting that they have been matched up with for a big celebration event, which will be the last one. And there will be activities in there that will be led by us, but a lot of that will be free play and allowing them to explore those relationships, those children that they've been learning about but haven't necessarily met, and some of them they will have met, which has been great. So looking at the Northern Ireland curriculum, because we're trying not to create extra work for people. We know that you've got a lot of boxes to tick, a lot of paperwork to fill in. We think that there's a lot of the targets in there that you can just literally tick off, those are done. We all have the same core goals at the end of it after all. And through the staff training, we hope that we always talk about creating a time, space and permission for children to play. But as the practitioners and as the staff who are working in the background, I think it's really important that we are empowered with the knowledge and the language to fight for those things for the children. So that's what we're hoping to do in the staff training sessions prior to all of this. So Roberta, if you could pop on to the next one for me, please. So again, we have been looking, obviously, because we're going to be working cross-border as well as part of the project, at the Irish education curriculum as well. Again, looking at the cross-curricular skills that are sitting there about children being well, about being active citizens. It's all included in the programme, developing good communication skills, peaceful relationships. Again, because we want you to be able to go out and just hit the ground running with this after we've done the sessions, we're trying to put together a little toolkit as well, which will have performers and sheets and ideas and activities and things that you can just literally take, copy and put into your own planning, just to try and make life easier for you. Obviously, the end goal for us is that we want to have created all this awareness around play, but make it that we can just hand it straight over and that you can run with it and the children can still get those benefits and relationships beyond that. And I think I'm going to stop talking now before I stop talking, keep on talking for the rest of the time. Thank you, Roberta.
Yes, so we're going to show you a wee video clip. I forgot to press my wee button. So let me do that. I need to stop sharing. If I remember how to do this. We're showing you a little video clip of our Peace 4 programme. It'll give you a wee further insight as to what we've been talking about this morning and some of the feedback from that. So let me know if you don't hear this. All good?
The most important factor about the children's sessions delivered in Piece 4 was that children had fun, but there was so much more involved too. Though children's mental health and well-being was a priority throughout the programme, we also facilitated an entire session based on emotions, where children could freely identify, understand and explore their emotions. This supported children's emotional intelligence, and it is well documented that emotional intelligence can be a strong predictor of success in relationships, health and quality of life. Children with higher emotional intelligence are more likely to pay attention and be engaged in school. They are also able to regulate their emotions better and achieve better academically. And we supported children to learn about their emotions in a number of ways that met their play needs and interests. We used Dan Segal's hand model to work with the children on creating a visual which outlined their triggers, healthy coping mechanisms and warning signs that the body gives us to let us know that we may be under threat or feeling fearful. We also demonstrated to the children about what would happen if we bottle up our emotions and the importance of having trusted adults to talk to if needed. As a team, we were totally blown away by the response to these. The children as young as 4 were able to identify and articulate their emotions really well. Staff requested the hand model to be used as a whole school approach, put on displays, used for classroom management and sent home to explain to parents as homework. Week on week we built on this knowledge and included new healthy coping mechanisms which children could add to their helping hand. These included making stress balls and other creations from loose parts, glitter jars and group games to promote exercise. It was amazing as a team to watch the children articulate their feelings and emotions. After explaining what emotions were to the children, this was a piece of feedback we received from a child when she was explaining her creation. By engaging in different types of play, children were also afforded the opportunity to make decisions, take risks, rewrite the rules, to succeed and to fail, something children need to learn to cope and manage so that they can build resilience and successfully navigate their life as they get older. The children were encouraged to use these cross-community boards to communicate with one another, show each other what they had done throughout the programme, ask each other questions and leave messages for one another. Some settings really loved the concept and took a lot of interest in it. The children were continuously reminded of the cross-community aspect of the programme, and the topic of community was discussed at length during session 4, which allowed us to promote the concept that we are all people and differences are something that should be celebrated. Children were given the chance to create their own community flag. Some children chose the traditional route whilst others created flags from all around the world. This opened up interesting conversations and helped us celebrate diversity. Another amazing thing about play is how it often depicts things going on in the child's life or local community at that time, from children acting out the Queen's funeral to reenacting riots. Allowing this type of play to happen afforded children the opportunity to work through emotions connected to their experiences. Mental health and resilience was something that was considered through all 5 of the children's sessions, and staff ensured they were trauma informed at all times. We do say that all play supports children's well-being, particularly free play where children are given the time, space and permission to take the lead on their play. But we also carefully integrated ways to teach children about their emotions in a playful way through a number of adult-led and guided activities. By engaging in different types of play, children were also afforded the opportunity to make decisions, take risks, to succeed and to fail. This is something that as a society we shy away from, but can help children build their emotional resilience. Through careful observations, staff and children were able to identify changes in children's self-confidence. Teachers found that children were more engaged and independent in their learning. We were delighted with the feedback from practitioners who were able to note positive changes in the behaviour of the children who engaged in the Our Generation programme.
Great, thank you. So we're going to hand you over now to Nikki at Action Mental Health. And if there's any questions you want to populate into the chat function, but we will have questions and answers at the end as well. But if anything is coming up for anybody throughout, go ahead and put them in now. So Nikki, I'm going to hand over to you.
Okay, thank you, Roberta, Susan and Jess. It's really hard to follow after that presentation. Thank you everybody for taking the time out to come on to this. I want to talk a wee bit about the Our Generation for Action Mental Health. Now, we do have a number of programmes ranging from 9 to 25, and our delivery is across all of Northern Ireland. So I do want to just do a quick snapshot. It's really difficult to do a quick snapshot when you see the programmes. I definitely would recommend that you go with Playboard, especially. I wish I was that age so I can get an Archie bar. By the end of this project, I hope to get an Archie bar myself. Even if I have to throw my kids into it. I'm only joking. Okay, so at Action Mental Health, we have a vibrant range of emotional health and wellbeing programs, as well as elements of peer leadership. So first of all, I'll scan over very quickly the primary school program. So we have, for primary school age 9 to 11-year-olds, we have Healthy Me. Some of you have probably already had Healthy Me in your schools, and that would have been with Action Mental Health, but that would have been a 3-hour workshop. This is a 6-session inclusive of an intergroup workshop. It is now a youth work approach to emotional health and wellbeing. So the sessions are very much interactive through group work, small group discussions, problem solving, critical thinking, and very interactive. But Healthy Me would be our core emotional health and wellbeing and resilience program, with the options of selecting a few bespoke, which you can see on the 9 to 11-year-olds what those bespoke sessions are. Better Together is very much a peer listener program. So this is catered to P6 and P7 young people. Again, as a 6-session program, an hour and a half, but very much looking at empathy, relationship, friendship, communication skills. So giving young people a wee bit more responsibilities. And if you're in a school, that could be like a buddy system. And then as part of our programs, the young people have to engage in an intergroup workshop, which is a half day or a full day of your choice, and transport and stuff is fully funded. But saying that, if we were to say one school picked Healthy Me, the other school can pick Better Together as well. It doesn't need to be the same program. Moving on to the post-primary. So if you are here in your secondary school, or you're a kind of youth and community worker, these programs will probably be really key to you. So our post-primary programs is for young people, and there it is again. This was edited. 11 to 25-year-olds. Provoking Thought is similar to Healthy Me, so it's our core emotional health and wellbeing program. And again, at the side you can see what our bespoke sessions are. As the program goes on and we start to develop trends and identify the kind of needs in young children and young people, those bespokes will probably expand. But it gives the school or the youth organisation the opportunity to tailor the program to the needs of your children and young people through the bespoke elements. Our peer mentor is actually getting really popular because a lot of schools is going for the Take 5 accreditation, and as part of the Take 5 accreditation you have to have mini ambassadors and older ambassadors. It's probably different language, or champions. So the peer mentoring again is very much communication skills, listening skills, young leadership, problem solving. So given some scenarios realistic that teenagers would face as they peer support. So really looking at body image, kind of online safety, social media, and very much around boundaries. Because obviously as a peer, you might have a role and responsibility in a school and in a youth group, but if you're growing up in the same community, you probably meet them on the bus, you probably have them on Snapchat. So a lot of like one example is boundary bingo. But as the peer mentors, there was something else in the peer mentor that I've lost the flow, sorry. But the peer mentor very much is looking at, often when we put children and young people in roles and responsibilities, it's about how they can provide for other people and be that support. But a big focus this time as well is the balance between looking after other people, but also recognizing your own boundaries and limitations, and understanding when to pass things on and not carrying stuff home. And again, the same element with the intergroup. So that's our kind of core programs for children and young people. Then we're moving on to our youth leadership training programs. So a huge emphasis on young leaders and the development of pathway of progression for young people. So we have our mental health ambassador. So it's anybody between the age of 16 to 25 that can avail of this. Some of the schools that we're going into, they have their lower 6th pupils being taken on the mental health ambassador 6-week program. And they have their younger peer mentors, so that actually in the school there's a pathway of leadership and a pathway of progression for those young people, where the mental health ambassadors support the peer mentors, and we'll have that kind of buddy system. The mental health ambassadors, again, is it's a trauma-informed approach. It's looking at emotional health and well-being. It also gives the young people an opportunity to develop a project in their school or their youth group based on the needs of the children or the young people in their context. So that could look anything like, some of the places before, it was a a drop-in on a lunchtime. It was a nature space. Some schools have developed a podcast. So it's basically hearing the voices of all our children and young people and implementing that through the leadership role. Alongside the mental health ambassador, they would get the Volunteer Now Award, so it would be accredited, and also the opportunity to feed into Action Mental Health's regional youth panel, which has loads of opportunities in that itself. A huge part of the programme is the accreditation Safe Talk. So young people will be coming away with a Safe Talk accreditation. We also have our Provoke and Thought Mental Health Awareness Workshop. Again, it's a 5-week session, trauma-informed, resilience and wellbeing for self and others, and recognising the signs and symptoms in yourself and other people. So again, it's not accredited, but it's just more of a diluted version of the mental health ambassadors. Then we're moving on to the training for key youth workers. Now, that terminology kind of makes it, so basically it's for any staff or volunteers that works with children and young people between the ages of 9 to 25. We'll have a 2-hour bespoke emotional health and resilience wellbeing workshop. These can be one-off. We'll have the accredited Safe Talk. As the programme goes on, we will expand on that to assist our mental health first aid, but at the minute we're getting our staff trained through that. The Train the Trainer, if you were to book our peer mentoring program, I would be really encouraging you to do the Train the Trainer towards the end of next year, and let us come in and do it for you, so that you're getting more aware of it, and then by the end of the program you have all the materials so that you can build that into the curriculum or build that into your target monitors or your kind of progress for moving forward. So that's basically it in a snapshot. And I even have a wee bit of a light head because I'm talking and probably not breathing. And again, as Roberta said, there is loads of questions, or there's an opportunity to take questions. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Nikki. I'm going to hand you over to Sarah from Cooperation Ireland.
Thanks, Roberta. So my name's Sarah Fielding and I work at Cooperation Ireland, which is a peace building organisation on the Our Generation project. So there's myself and my colleague Nora Sullivan. I'm based in the border counties for this project in our Monaghan office, and Nora's based in Northern Ireland in the Belfast office. So we've been working, Cooperation Ireland's been working for 45 years to foster relationships and peace between diverse communities. And we'll be delivering the Our Generation project on a cross-border, cross-community basis. So I can give you an outline of what our delivery looks like. In terms of where we'll be working all across Northern Ireland and the 6 border counties across the project lifetime. And we'll be working with children and young people aged 9 to 25 and as Nikki was saying, the key youth workers. So that does include any adults working with these young people, either if they're volunteers or in a professional capacity too. So the way Cooperation Ireland's delivery works is that we're not really rolling out set programmes over the course of Our Generation, but we're doing bespoke delivery, which means that we are developing the programmes in response to identified need by talking to communities, youth groups, schools, and putting together these reports for each county, which basically build a picture of the key mental health issues in those areas. So some of the ways then we will deliver programmes for young people. We'll be offering training, youth leadership, cross-border residentials, and one thing called pairings. So they're cross-border pairings, and we'll be taking 2 groups of young people, one from Northern Ireland and one from the border counties, working with them on a single identity basis first, and then bringing them together to do trainings or residential fun activities in the outdoors, hopefully. That'll be in the summertime. We'll be working towards that. Then on the other hand, for the key youth workers, this basically is all about trainings, accredited trainings and capacity building. So I can give you some examples so far of what this would look like. Some of it will be delivered online, but the majority of it will be delivered in person. And those can be part days, full days, residentials away for these key youth workers as well. So at the moment, through these information events and circle exchanges, which are like engagement events we've been putting on in each county, Key youth workers have been telling us the key trainings that they'd like to upskill on. And some of these have been more practical skills in trauma-informed practice, safeguarding in the digital world, and how to deal with social media and kind of the dangers that that's posing at the minute for young people. But also some more practical skills like Lego therapy for working with neurodiverse young people, laughter yoga, and kind of empathy workshops. So there's lots of options for these, and we would really encourage you to make your voice heard on what you'd like upskilled on, or what issues are coming up in your daily work that you need a wee bit of support with. We'll also be putting on shared learning events, which will have expert speakers and focusing on the main issues relating to children and young people regarding mental health and wellbeing, and there'll be one of those a year. So at the moment, you're very welcome to get in contact with myself or Nora, and we can tell you more about those bespoke programs and maybe share what you would like to participate in. And yes, your laughter yoga does sound amazing. It sounds like a great training to do. So it would be great to hear from you on what you need, and thanks so much.
Thank you, Sarah. So I'm going to stop sharing here just for questions and answers, but just in case anyone wants to take a photograph of those contacts there, but you can also just email Hayley, who you booked the session on with as well, if you haven't managed to catch any of the contact details that you would like. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and then let's open the floor. Is there a... Yeah, laughter yoga. It does sound amazing.
It does. I'm going to head
Laughter's
on to our
contagious.
Coleraine event here, Roberta, but thank you so much.
Perfect, Sarah. Good luck,
Bye.
all the best.
Thanks, bye.
I just wanted to a quick amendment to something that I said earlier on. Whenever I was going through the sessions, I said that our new the new sessions for our plan were the community-based ones. Obviously, we have been doing those in the past. I just meant new, as in new to a lot of children. So just to clarify that, we have been doing those before. It's not brand new.
Yeah, just a new way of doing it, Susan. So that's why it was unnoticed what you said. Oh, no. Any other questions? Hayley will put into our chat function here how you can sign up to the Playboard programme, which is by completing what we call an expression of interest form. You'll get it on our website as well after today's session. If you do have a partner setting or school that you already work with on a cross-community basis, feel free to share the information with them. The expression of interest form will ask you as well who they are, and we'll contact them as well to say you've expressed an interest and would they be interested in coming forth as well. But it's also really good if you can go ahead and do that yourself as well. There's Hayley has put the link into our website, and you just scroll down, you'll get the EOI form, and also you'll get a booklet that you can print off and share with your staff. We're also recording this session, so it will be up, I've said at the beginning, it will be up on our social medias, I think, and again, it's something that we can do to share. I know, Nikki, I'm feeling the pain as well. Wasn't my idea. But it's also something that can be shared across staff, you know, for any staff that are here today that want to share it with their colleagues. It's a handy way of doing that.
Roberta, I just wanted to add there too, I can't remember if it was mentioned or not, that these sessions, I know that our sessions are all free. There's no costing or anything involved in those. And I think I'm right in saying that the other two, Action Mental Health and Cooperation Ireland, these sessions, there's no cost to the setting to book them or to have any of the resources.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of buses and everything, there's no cost implications to any of the settings. Yeah, good point, Susan.
Yeah, so sorry, Roberta. I'm from a primary school, so just my question was just what Susan was talking about was it fully funded? And then secondly, is this something that we are doing with a partner school?
Yeah, so because our generation is working on a cross community basis. So what we do is we'll work individually with your school and your partner school. Hopefully they sign up to it. And then for that fifth session that we were talking about earlier, we do some work with your children individually and talk about their partner school. And then on the fifth session, they come together.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
we do have a shared education school, but a lot of that fell through this year. So I'm thinking this might be a good way to get both schools in together again.
So,
Yeah,
and you don't have
absolutely.
to come to us together with one form either. You can put in your expression of interest by yourself, and then we can pair up with the other one.
Okay.
So you don't have to do that work.
Yeah,
no, that's perfect. That's
absolutely.
good. Yeah.
Well, I one more chance for any other questions, either in the chat or if anyone wants to speak up. Hopefully you do have our contact details by now, so you can get in touch with us. And if everyone's happy, we can finish the call and maybe go and grab a cuppa. That sound good? Yeah. All right. All the best, everyone. Thank you so much for coming along today. Hopefully
Thank
see you
you.
soon.